Today's session is all about looking at one of the 2 or 3 core elements, the core fundamentals of what's going to drive you to be successful in business. Let's go and get stuck in right now. Okay, so only a few days ago, the Super Bowl for 2020 was run and won. There's a crucial avenue of what happened in that game that fundamentally explains why some people are crazily successful and others dwindle and don't quite get what they define as their own success. Now, let me explain that. You might not get these podcasts for a couple of weeks after the Super Bowl, but only a few days ago, the Kansas City Chiefs won their first Super Bowl in 60-something years, approximately. I know there's probably a few people going, "It's," and yelling out the answer there, but it's a long damn time, right? They've been on the outer for a long time, and only a couple of years ago, they got an amazing quarterback called Patrick Mahomes. Now, he's been setting records all over the place, and what he actually did the other day was he actually led a huge comeback in the fourth quarter. They were down by 10 points, the Kansas City Chiefs. There was less than 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and he actually took the team to 3 touchdowns in under 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, including a game-winning drive to win the Super Bowl at the age of 24. Now, if we put that in context as well, this is a guy that had a great record, broke records all over the place, but did actually in the game already throw 2 intercepts and also had 2 fumbles. So he gave away possession 4 times in the game, which is the cardinal sin of a quarterback. And he still managed to have the composure to drive the team forward and get the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Now, he's also 24 years of age and the youngest athlete ever to win a Super Bowl as a quarterback and named MVP as the most valuable player, which is all amazing in its own right. But the catalyst to this podcast is this. Afterwards, when they spoke to him in an interview, they said to him, one of the first questions was, what is the secret to your success? It was, "Patrick, you played well, blah, blah, but what is the secret to your success?" And the exact words that he put forward are, "I just tried to be the best I can," which is phenomenal, right? It's also very simple. And there's a lot of people out there that are sitting there listening right now that are going, "Oh, I've heard that before. Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, it's easier." Right. I just try to be the best I can. It's so simple, and it breaks down the mentality of what he did this season, in only his 3rd season, what he just managed to accomplish at the end of a Super Bowl, down by 10 points, 2 intercepts, 2 fumbles. He comes back, drives the team forward to have 3 touchdowns in under 7 minutes, wins Super Bowl ring, MVP, etc. Very, very simple sentence. Very, very simple philosophy, but it goes completely to the core element of emotional intelligence, right? It gives a massive insight into his emotional intelligence, the way he thinks, the way he feels, how in tune he is with that core competency around emotional intelligence. You can be a great negotiator. You can be great at business. You can be a great manager. You can be authoritarian. You can have all these skills, read the books, bought the shirt, gone to the seminar and all those type of things, right? Got your degrees. But if you don't have a huge amount of focused emotional intelligence, then you're going to struggle in a lot of areas of business that's really going to start to frustrate you and annoy you over long periods of time. Now, the main part about what he's doing in this simple sentence and simple philosophy of "I just try to be the best I can be," it goes to the core element of emotional intelligence in the fact that you're not focused on others. You're not focused on other achievements, other records. Now think about Patrick. He could have been very focused on the other records of the other young quarterbacks. Maybe, how many passing yards, how many touchdowns, how many this, how many that, etc., etc. He wasn't focused on that. He didn't know the records. He didn't know the achievements. And in the first year or two, there were people talking about the fact that, he was doing a lot of comparisons. He was thinking about other people, what other people are doing, what other people are saying, how they're looking to improve their game, what records are out there to be broken, how can I be the best? And he changed that all around in the last 12 months and did a lot of work on the psychology side of things to improve his emotional intelligence, because his emotional intelligence, the core avenue of it is it's not about comparison. It's not about comparing yourself to other people, to records, to achievements. It's actually a fact of you're only competing with yourself. The quote again, I just try to be the best I can be, from Patrick Mahomes. It is a core element of what we all need to be focusing on. Think about yourself right now in business. Do you find yourself being distracted by shiny objects? You know, I know that I've been a bad proponent of this over many years. I mean, even saying that is bad NLP, saying I'm bad at something. I'd like to think that I'm improving, which I am, at shiny objects. New tech, gotta have it. New gadgets, gotta have it, right? We've all been there. We've all done those impulse buys with that type of stuff when we didn't need to. We got ourselves distracted. We compared ourselves to other people. Think about how many times in business you compare a marketing strategy that you've done to someone else in the industry. Or you hear of results and you go, oh, that didn't happen. Why? What have they done that I haven't done and I can't do? Why do they? Oh, and you try and dig deep to try and find out, etc. That's the comparative nature, which isn't leading towards high levels of emotional intelligence. Now, absolutely, there's success leaves clues. Jim Rohn taught the world that. Success leaves clues. And fundamentally, it's super important to be able to look at what other people have done really well and understand how you can apply those principles, apply those strategies and make better outcomes for yourself. Absolutely. But to continually try and drive yourself as a comparison of other people, or compare yourself on how quickly you're growing to other people, comparing it to what someone did in 6 months to yourself, etc. There's a big difference between trying to understand what they did, how they did, and what made that successful so that you can bring that into your own success equation. And there's a big difference between that and you just comparing yourselves to other people, other achievements, other good and bad aspects of the industry or business development principles. So guys, you got to stop and think about the core element here around emotional intelligence. I'm just trying to be the best that I can be. What if you were to take that exact same approach? I'm just trying to be the best I can be. Every day you're trying to do one little thing better than you were yesterday. Every week you're trying to improve yourself just that 1 degree. Turn that knob every single click, click, click every single week, 1 more degree, and you watch that momentum grow forward as you start to have higher levels of emotional intelligence. You'll start to have better communication pathways. You'll start to better understand what are the areas that you can actually change. Because changing the avenues that you need to change or that you need to work on are a lot more important and a lot more successful and a lot more success-driven motivations than just comparing to the industry or someone else or the competitor down the road. There's way too much comparison, way too much analysis from business owners in the health and medical industry about what other people are doing. We all need to take the lesson from Patrick Mahomes right now with that game-winning quarterback drive only a few days ago for the Kansas City Chiefs. I just tried to be the best I can be. Focus on that first and foremost, because that's going to drive a lot more emotional intelligence forward for you, and your emotional intelligence is a lot more crucial than actual intellectual intelligence. The ability to know yourself, read the situation, read other people, move forward, judge the scenario, and have that in-tune innate ability of heightening your emotional intelligence is seriously one of the number one core elements of successful people in our industry and in fact every industry around the world. So go and get stuck in, go and work on that. Make sure you get that core competency. Don't make it about other people in comparison. Just go ahead and get this right for yourself right now. Compete with yourself, make yourself better. Use a simple sentence, simple philosophy. Steal it from Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure he'd be really, really proud of the fact that he's actually influencing other people in a positive and empowered nature. Guys, go ahead, get your emotional intelligence up. Think about it. Just try and be better right now than you were yesterday. Be better than you were last month. That is number one core foundation of you being successful and taking the right steps forward personally and professionally in your life. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.